to the Blessed Life channel. This is Roger Ariel. We're reading the book of Ezekiel, chapter 47. This is the second last chapter. We have only one more chapter after this. Interesting fun fact. Ezekiel, Jeremiah, and Daniel. So the prophets Ezekiel, Jeremiah, and prophet Daniel lived at the same time. They lived at the same time during the Babylonian captivity. Daniel happened to be one of the captives that were taken from Israel, and he worked in the palace, and his visions were regarding the end times. His prophecies were mostly about the end times and things to come. And Ezekiel was one of the captives, and his prophecies and the visions that he's seeing seem to be about the rebuilding of this temple. So the second temple that would be built, I believe, by Hezekiah or Nehemiah. I know that Hezekiah, one of them rebuilds the wall and the other rebuilds the temple. So I'm not going to tell you definitely which one it is because I always get the two mixed up. They sound similar to me. And Jeremiah, however, prophesies about the captivity to the people, regarding telling them, when they are taken captives, not to try to fight against it, to settle into places, to build their houses and things like that. As far as I know, I think I might go backward and read Jeremiah next or something. And another fun fact is the book of Ezekiel is actually the fourth longest book in the Bible, which makes a lot of sense because I did take quite a while to get through this one. Daniel was so swift. It was fast. It was, I think, how many chapters are there in Daniel? Let me take a look. 12, I think. Revelations was only 24 or so, or 22. Yeah, Daniel has 12 chapters. And so Ezekiel is the fourth longest in the Bible. Of course, number one is at the top, I believe. Psalms is one of them. Jeremiah is one of the long ones too. And then Exodus is quite long as well. I don't know which the other one is. The top 5 longest books in the Bible. Anyhow, moving on, I'm going to start reading chapter 47 now. The passages, there are 2 passages, and they are titled The Healing Waters and Trees and Borders of the Land. Then he brought me to the back door of the temple, and there was water flowing from under the threshold of the temple toward the east, for the front of the temple faced east. The water was flowing from under the right side of the temple, south of the altar. He brought me out by way of the north gate and led me around on the outside to the outer gate that faces east. And there was water running out on the right side. And when the man went out to the east with the line in his hand, he measured out 1,000 cubits. And he brought me the waters. The water came up to my ankles. Again, he measured 1,000 and brought me through the waters. The water came up to my knees. Again, he measured 1,000 and brought me through. The water came up to my waist. Again, he measured 1,000, and it was a river that I could not cross, for the water was too deep, water in which one must swim, a river that could not be crossed. He said to me, Son of man, have you seen this? Then he brought me and returned me to the bank of the river. When I returned, there along the bank of the river were very many trees on one side and the other. Then he said to me, This water flows toward the eastern region, goes down into the valley, and enters the sea. When it reaches the sea, its waters are healed. It shall be that every living thing that moves wherever the rivers go will live. There will be a very great multitude of fish because these waters go there, for they will be healed, and everything will live wherever the river goes. It shall be that the fishermen will stand by it from En-gedi to En-eglaim. They will be places for spreading their nets. Their fish will be of the same kinds as the fish of the great sea, exceedingly many. But its swamps and marshes will not be healed. They will be given over to salt. Along the bank of the river, on the side and that, will grow all kinds of trees used for food. Their leaves will not wither, and their fruit will not fail. They will bear fruit every month, because their water flows from the sanctuary. Their fruit will be food. Their fruit will be for food, and their leaves for medicine. That's really interesting, because the water flows from the sanctuary, that these trees will not lose their leaves, and they continuously bear fruit every month. Passage 2, borders of the land. Thus says the Lord God, these are the borders by which you shall divide the land as an inheritance among the 12 tribes of Israel. Joseph shall have 2 portions. You shall inherit it equally with one another. For I raised my hand in an oath to give it to your fathers, and this land shall fall to you as your inheritance. This shall be the border of the land on the north, from the great sea by the road to Hethlon, as one goes to Zidad, Hamath, Berotha, Sibraim, which is between the border of Damascus and the border of Hamath, to Hazar Hattikon, which is the border of Haran. Thus the boundary shall be from sea to Hazar Enan, the border of Damascus, and as for the northward, it is the border of Hamath. This is the north side. On the east side, you shall mark out the border between Horan and Damascus, and between Gilead and the land of Israel, along the Jordan, and along the eastern side of the sea. This is the east side. The south side toward the south shall be from Tamar to the waters of Meribah by Kadesh, along the brook to the great sea. This is the south side toward the south. The west side shall be the great sea, from the southern boundary until one comes to a point opposite Hamath. This is the west side. Thus you shall divide this land among yourselves according to the tribes of Israel. It shall be that you will divide it by lot as an inheritance for yourselves and for the strangers who dwell among you and who bear children among you. They shall be to you as native born among the children of Israel. They shall have an inheritance with you among the tribes of Israel. And it shall be that in whatever tribe the stranger dwells, there you shall give him his inheritance, says the Lord God. Hello, Taylor. So that is chapter 47. We often hear throughout the Old Testament that, this is an interesting passage, that the stranger shall have an inheritance among the children of Israel. I have never read something even similar to that anywhere else. Especially not in the first 5 books. Genesis, Exodus, Numbers, Leviticus, all of that. Anyhow, that was chapter 47. I really find it interesting, the healing waters in the trees. The leaves of the trees would be medicine, and the fruit of the trees would be food and fish. And when we really look at it, I don't know if you guys have ever had the chance to read, there is a book called God's Medicine Bottle, which was written by Derek Prince. And it is such an incredible book. Just, if you ever get the chance, try and read it. It talks about, you know, food as medicine, and I personally have some experience with that, in that when I changed my diet to eat what is whole, nutritious, and not processed, like a lot of things I was struggling with before, including migraines and stuff, have gone away. So it's really interesting. I really like this passage here that kind of openly just says, God had already created for you the food that you need to put in your body that is healthy for you. And you don't really need all the processed stuff. Anyhow, hello, William. I am going to be signing off now. I'll be back with chapter 48. That will be the last chapter of this book. And I'm going to put up a poll to see what book I should read next. I'm thinking Amos. Yeah, so I'll put up a poll, and then you guys can vote on it if you're still online. Okay, thank you for listening. Have a wonderful evening. God bless you. Bye now.